Did you know that Botox was the most toxic substance known to mankind? That only 100 nanograms can kill a human, and 1 kilogram of Botox would wipe out all of life, human life on Earth. 1 kilogram would kill all the humans, 8 billion. And yet, people are lining up for bubbles and Botox and marketing gimmick to let people inject the most toxic substance known to man that is also a legit war poison, potentially, and used in bioterrorism. That's how toxic Botox is. And you only have to go to a one-day, sometimes a weekend seminar and pay about $600. And you too can be certified to inject all your friends. So let's talk about this a little bit, because I was recently brought to my attention how prevalent this really is. Like, I guess this is one of these things people don't talk about, but everybody does. I didn't know. I really didn't. And it's always a shock when people say something like, when I'm like, well, you know, my eyes are this or that. And they're like, well, aren't you doing Botox? I'm like, no. And it's surprising, I guess, to people that I'm 50 and I don't have Botox or fillers in me. Botox is a drug. A filler is actually classified as a medical device. Just so you know, not a drug, it's a device. It's an implanted device. We'll talk about fillers another day. I really didn't have much skin in the game on the Botox thing. But recently there was a post, an influencer person posted this. If I can drop it in, I'll do it, but it said basically this: at 39, out of all the health skincare products I've used, or something like that, the best, without a doubt, Botox and fillers. And then in the comments, we're all like, yes, girl, hey, girl, tell me about it. I need to make my appointment. Oh, my God. With a bunch of like 30-year-old, not even 40-year-old moms. And like, this is their norm. What? This is the norm? I was bothered on many levels. One, the normalization of the self-mutilation and the self-harm for beauty standards. The disgusting level to which we will abuse and destroy ourselves to be beautiful, to not age, as if aging is the end-all hell that we're all trying to avoid. Trust me, I understand. I'm not trying to go out looking old, but I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What have I bought into? Because I don't want to be a part of that, and I don't want to contribute to it either. Let's talk about what the beauty standards and the fear of aging for women is doing, and doing to girls. This is starting to affect children at this point, because it's starting to be a thing people are talking about pretty darn young. And part of the problem is the impact of social media and all your filters and your fakeness and your whatever you're doing that isn't you, your AI, fake. People looking like they're 120 pounds when they're actually 200. People looking like they're 25 and they're actually 65. People, God only knows what color their hair actually is. You know? I don't know. They're like, oh, Carol, that's not my hair color. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I assume people are just who they actually are. That's who they are. Nope. And so I get it. We all want to look good, but let's talk about the numbers a little bit. So there've been some recent studies. If you haven't figured out people's anxiety and depression and self-loathing are at an all-time high, they are. Let me tell you. So I'm going to read the numbers, make sure I get this right. So from 2009 to 2015, there were several different studies looking at the stats of this, okay? And I'm sure it's worse now, 2023. There was girls aged 15 to 19 who were admitted to hospitals for non-fatal self-harm, hurting themselves, mutilation or suicide attempts, rose 62%. For girls 10 to 14, it went up 189%. Same years, suicide rates of girls from 15 to 19 rose 70%, and 10 to 14, 151%. Absolutely, they also did a 5,000 person study looking at social media, and that was published 2017, that, people who are using social media more have bigger declines in mental and physical health and life satisfaction. So no shocking insight here. If the more you are on social media, the more you are comparing yourself to all these other people and their fake images and fake, and the lying, and the deceit. And for you, 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds, you know what you're feeling. Imagine being 10, 12, 14. When the self-loathing and the self-confusion and the disdain for your body and all the things that are happening and the fluids that are coming out of places that you didn't used to have coming is at an all-time high. The social media used for children is a whole other conversation. Side note, I'll say it, I find it disgusting. Children should not be on social media. They shouldn't have a TikTok. They shouldn't have an Instagram. They shouldn't have a Facebook. They shouldn't have a Snapchat. They shouldn't have a nothing. They shouldn't own a phone. Bring back a flip phone if you must have it. Get a landline. I don't know, but it's too much. You're not monitoring it. You don't have little control over their little devices. You don't know what they're seeing. That's just the comparison. Let's not even get into the porn that they're looking at. And I can't even imagine, had I seen porn at 11, 12, 13, 14 when I was a child, and what I would have thought about myself compared to those women who have nothing real happening. All fake. They don't know that. They think that shit's real. They think you really look like that. Try to compare this to that, you're always going to lose. Okay? So I get why the push is there. The messages I've gotten in the last couple of days of women saying, thank you for saying this, thank you for saying this, that I spoke out against the dangers of Botox. I'm stunned. Dozens upon dozens, 30, 40, 50 messages, okay, who feel so conflicted and struggle so much with this. They don't want it, but they feel they have to, they don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what it even does? Botox is a poison. 1 kilogram will kill all the people on earth. 1 kilogram. That's not a lot, you guys, okay? It paralyzes the nerves by acting on the mechanism of acetylcholine. Now, acetylcholine is a really important neurotransmitter. It does some things as far as muscle contraction, but it also is learning and memory. I'm not really sure injecting that shit all over your face, shutting down your acetylcholine, is really smart. If you want to be smart, okay? I probably have more acetylcholine than all of you with paralyzed faces because I'm not killing my acetylcholine. So people, how do you remember all that? How do you know? I don't know, because I don't poison myself. Number 2, it crosses your blood-brain barrier. Fact. It goes from here and here and here and here, and whatever you're doing, and goes inside your brain. It is going inside your brain. It is damaging your brain. It is damaging your nerves. Okay? If that doesn't bother you, man, I'm more worried for you than maybe you. I don't even know what to say right now, because you don't want that in your brain. All right. Another point. This is I find really interesting, and we know this actually been studied. Okay. So it paralyzes your face. So you can't move your muscles and have proper movement and proper emotional reflection and context anymore. See how much motion that's happening here? Lots of things. We have mirror neurons inside of us. Like, it's essential for babies to see the mother and be able to mirror what she's doing. I am deeply concerned for mothers doing Botox. One, I don't know how much of that's getting through the breast milk, okay? But just in terms of that baby's neurological, emotional, and psychological development and its ability to bond with you and understand emotions and what to do, if your face is paralyzed, it's been proven You can't actually feel emotions properly anymore because you can no longer move and create all the neurotransmitters required, all the chemicals required to feel deep emotions. And you no longer can have the same empathy. You are no longer as empathetic to other people. You can't feel it. I think the last thing we need on earth are people with less empathy, with a lowered ability to put themselves in the feeling heart space of another human being and become numb to them. That's what Botox does. What? Imagine if the mom and the baby, and do you understand? Okay, I'm actually going to end up going live. I hope sometime this week. I think with Sarah Kleiner, we'll do a thing about it and we'll get into some nitty gritties and I'll say some numbers and I'll say some other things. But there's some points I want you to think about that maybe you never thought about. And hey, you got it, you did it, whatever. We all do what we don't know. We make mistakes, whatever. I'm just saying, if you're going to be out there waving the big wand of it's the greatest thing ever for a bunch of 30 and 25-year-olds and you're influential, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to tell you, no, it's not. It's mutilation. It is not self-care. It is not self-love. Now I'm going to only talking about the beauty uses. Now, I understand it's used for other things. I'm not talking about that right now. It's still doing the same thing. It's still crossing your blood-brain barrier. It's still causing nerve damage. It still can cause outrageous anxiety and depression. It can still cause botulism. People actually get that disease from this, you guys. There wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an injection. People have won court cases for this. Like, they ended up with botulism. They're ruined for life. One guy, I think, one woman, it was like $18 million. Now, I don't think this is a plan for financial success. I wouldn't make that your mission to be maimed for life. But that's just how it works out. This is a situation. It's got a black box warning. But you think it's this safe, benign nothing. And this is what they're doing. They've normalized violent brutality with toxic poisons that can kill you. And you think it's a simple nothing, no big deal. This has been going on in the healthcare industry with everything. They've normalized genital mutilation, circumcision. They've normalized poisoning babies, the VACCINESs. You can't know five words I can say anymore. They've normalized destroying female health by stopping periods. They're like, I don't know, you only need 1 a year, 2 years. What are you talking about? You don't think that shit's highly unnatural and there's going to be really bad consequences to that little girl over that? Wake up. Let's stop poisoning ourselves. I mean, we're all going to get older, y'all. Wrinkles are coming. Just, it's happening. Please. It's not worth it. Eat some meat. Get some fat and collagen in your system. Go to bed. Stop drinking. How about that? Wash your face. How about that? I got some skincare products. You ask me, I'll give you some things you want to put on topically, but it starts from the inside. But there are some things. You want to know the real healthcare, skincare miracle? GHK copper, GHK-CU peptides. It's too much. There's my rant.